Welcome, one and all. I'm Ted, your host, and welcome to my channel. A channel where we'll explore all things that go bump in the night. But before we get into our stories, if you could please be kind enough to hit like and subscribe and just share this video, because it really does help our channel out. And you may also want to turn on your notifications so you'll be made aware of any new videos that we come out with. With that being said, on with our stories. Our first story comes from a dude that just moved into a house and strange things have already started to happen. I just moved into a new house and it's weird AF. I moved into this new house about a week ago. My dad works as a firefighter, so he moved into a former Army fort in South Dakota, where there is a fire station and a hospital. The house we got is 200 years old, and my dad is super into history and things like that. Now, I have never believed in ghosts in the slightest, but me and my dad have had weird experiences, and while I'm not saying it's ghost, I'm definitely questioning things. My dad was at the house waiting to meet the lady who would show him around, but he had to go to the bathroom. And while he was in there, he heard the front door open, so he hurried up to go out and meet her. But he didn't see anyone. He then heard stomping up the stairs. There are two stairways and they were coming from the furthest one. So he ran to see where she was going, but the house was completely empty. My grandpa came to help us move things in to the house, and he has a car that you don't need a key to start, but you still have to have the key on your person to get it running. He and my dad were sitting there, and the car turned on aggressively, and my dad joked saying, "You can leave us alone, ghost." And the car shut off immediately. Well, if you wake up in the morning and your vehicle's missing, at least you know what happened, The ghost just took it for a joyride, which is okay as long as the ghost remembers to bring it back with a full tank of gas. I was sitting in my room. I have a room on the top floor, basically the attic. And I was watching TV and my door handle turned and the door opened, so I expected someone to walk in. But nobody did. I ran out to see who it was, and nobody was there. The closest person was 2 stories beneath me. I don't know what it was, but I want to know your opinions. Feel free to ask any questions. Yeah, that's some pretty weird stuff going on at your house, dude. Our second story tonight, just simply called A Sad Ghost Story. This happened to me when I was 9 years old, back in 2009. I invited my school friends over for a sleepover. We had a great time. Ate pizza, played a bunch of games on my PS2, and made a mess of my living room. The typical stuff kids do at a sleepover. Anyway, once the party was over, we all went to my room where we put 4 mattresses next to my bed and my brother's bed. We chatted for a few minutes. One by one, we fell asleep. In the end, I was the last one awake. To kill time, I read a Batman comic book by the dim light of my desk lamp. My dude, I gotta love your choice of reading material. Once I finished reading, I turned off the light, and that's when I saw the shadow figure of an adult man crouching down in front of me. I could see the shadow on the wall. And at first, I thought it might be a figure created by the dampness in the house. But then I saw it extend its arm towards where one of my friends, Nico, was sleeping. I wanted to run away, but I felt that if I moved, the shadow would come towards me, so I stayed still. I could see the arm seem to caress Nico. And then, in the same position, the shadow vanished, as if it had been slowly imploded. I lay awake for hours, thinking that maybe if I fell asleep or tried to leave the room, the shadow would come for me. In the end, probably after my body stopped producing adrenaline, my body had already been defeated by my tiredness, and I fell asleep. The next morning, my friends woke me up. Since my mom had made breakfast for everyone when I woke up, I stared at the wall where there wasn't a single damp stain. When I came downstairs for my room, I asked my parents if they had come to my room to check if we were sleeping last night, and they said no. I told them what happened, but they looked at me as if I was making it up. I remember that morning very well. We were in the dining room playing the first Lego Star Wars video game while drinking chocolate milk and eating cereal. We were on the pod racing level, which, in case you also played the game, you know it was way too difficult for a Lego game at that time. We were basically taking turns with the controller, trying to beat it. I had told my friends what had happened, especially Nico. Nico had told me that he felt something brush against him that night, but that he just went back to sleep. At that moment, my mom told Nico that he would have to leave early because his mom was about to arrive there to pick him up. I asked my mom why Nico had to leave so early, and she said she would tell me about it later. After Nico had left, and after my classmates had also left, I asked my mom again what had happened. And she told me that Nico's grandfather had passed away last night. The next nights, nothing ever happened in my room. I was alert in case the shadow would appear again, but it didn't. Those days I spent a lot of time thinking about what happened, and as the years passed and I kept hanging out with Nico and the rest of my friends, I realized that what happened that night, although it was a terrifying moment for a 9-year-old kid, it was also a touching moment, no pun intended. Perhaps what I perceived that night was made by my imagination, or something in the room making shadows, or maybe It was the sad goodbye from grandfather to grandson. You know, I'm inclined to agree. I think it was probably Nico's grandfather coming to say goodbye. I mean, after all, when we pass, we take all the love we had for the people in our lives with us. And I guess he just didn't want to go on to his great rewards without saying goodbye to his grandson. Our next one is from someone who seems to have a roommate within their house that they never asked for. This story is called Living in a Haunted House. I grew up in a house in the middle of nowhere that was built in the late 1800s. I'm pretty sure it used to be a dairy farm at one point, but that's beside the point. I've had a lot of weird experiences I can't explain in that house, and I thought I'd share some of the more crazier ones here. For starters, if you count the basement and attic as floors, then the house has 4 floors. Basement, main floor, which has the living room and dining room. Upper floor, which is the bedrooms and office, and the attic. My very first encounter with the paranormal happened when I was 16. I remember my parents were out of the house and my brothers were downstairs, and I was in the office upstairs. I had to go downstairs myself to get something, and I had to walk past my parents' bedrooms, which was at the top of the landing. The door was closed, and as soon as I stepped down on the first step, I heard a panicked female voice whispering, "Help me," from my parents' room. Naturally, I stepped back and burst into the room thinking it was one of my brothers playing a prank on me, but no one was there. I've also had 3 different people tell me that they've seen a similar ghost at different points in the house. These people told me independently of one another, and there was no way that all got together and collaborated the same story beforehand, which makes it even creepier. The first person, a friend named Kel, that's a fake name, said that on more than one occasion, he had seen the ghost of a woman wandering around the house, even on the outside. He said she had shoulder-length brown hair, either kind of wavy or straight. She was white, and she wore a purple dress, similar to what Nicole Kidman had on in the movie The Others. Wow, that is a great movie. The ending of it was so bloody freaky. I would highly recommend watching that movie if you haven't yet. My ex-sister-in-law, Hannah, also a fake name, said she saw the same woman a couple of times, most notably in the attic. She gave the exact same description: the hair, the dress, the color of the dress, and said that the ghost seemed really sweet. Then comes Savannah, another fake name, obviously. She and I are hanging out with her niece, Laney, another fake name. When we realize it's getting late and I have to take them home, Savannah goes inside first, steps into the enclosed porch and freezes before she opens the door that leads into the dining room. I ask her what's going on, and she turns to me with fear in her eyes and whispers, "Bobby, I saw her." I asked her what she's talking about, and she tells me that she saw the same woman that Carol and Hannah told me about, except instead of looking sweet or even human, this version, the one that Savannah described, looked angry enough to injure someone. She said that the skin on half the woman's face was missing, and there was only a skull. She said the ghost was making her way across the dining room to the basement. I thought she was making stuff up and stepped inside, only to see the basement doorknob jiggling by itself like someone was trying to open it. Needless to say, I sprinted to get my keys, drove Savannah and Nancy home, and didn't sleep at all that night. No shit, you didn't get any sleep that night. Just after reading your story, I don't think I'll get any sleep tonight. Well, I do think that's where we're going to end it for tonight. But please, go ahead and tell me what you thought of the stories we covered. Has any of them left an impression on you? Or do you have any stories that you'd like to share with the class? If so, just tell me about it in the comments, and I may even include them in an upcoming video. Thanks for stopping by. But before you go, please remember to hit like and subscribe and to share this video, because it really does help our channel out. And so that you're kept aware of any new videos that are coming out, you may want to turn on your notifications as well. Once again, thanks for coming by. And remember, beware of all things that go bump in the night.